Here now, present, in this moment, in every moment, at all times. Your wider perspective, foundation from which you operate from. These words have been coming this morning to Kosta, even before he meditated. Foundation to creation to integration. Do you check in often with your foundation of steady, how you get to steady? Do you use the tools to get you to steady? Do you pay attention to how the tools are doing for you? How are they putting you to that which is the feeling of steady? That is really the foundation work. The foundation work of you having tools to get to the perspective of steady. And then when you get to that perspective of steady, you can be more deliberate about that which is your creation. And so foundation, awareness, conscious awareness about that which is foundation, consistency in using your foundation, so then you can be more on purpose in your creation. You're creating at all times, you're having awareness about it more or less, but you are creating at all times. And so when your foundation is active, when you give enough attention to that which is your foundation, you going to the process of unfocusing to the wider perspective sufficiently enough so that your steady is active, then your focus on focus dance becomes very comfortable. It becomes very satisfying. It becomes very ecstatic even for you. And so that perspective of integration, of a wider perspective with your focus outwards, becomes a very comfortable, satisfying, and really thrilling dance. Kosta can sense this based off of how much of his emotions are active when he goes to the perspective of steady and then goes to poke around. When the foundation is there, when the foundation of steady is predominant and active, the process of creating, not only for himself, but the process of creating and keeping that steady for ours to join in, does not throw him off into the feeling of an exaggerated emotion, whether that emotion is positive or negative. And so, for the first time in about 10 years of knowing this wonderful friend, one of his best friends in the world of dance, they had a rather intense conversation, and rather in front of quite few people. And so Kosta realized after the fact, even during the fact, but especially after the fact, that this conversation from his perspective did not come from that which was foundation of steady. And he knew, because his heart rate went up, because his feeling of wanting to go and see the experience of that which is creation was not really guided from opening the door to see the pebble in the shoe. But once he found himself in it, even though Armand was suggesting that it's better probably to stop, that there is other people around, he was right in between him and his wonderful friend. Kosta realized that there is the value in this too. He could even see the glimpses of what is the value about this for himself and for his friend, and rather quickly, and therefore allowed himself to go back to a little bit more of that which is the steady, to calm his emotional part down, to have the process of unfocus. It took his friend to walk away from the table in order for this to happen, but it did happen. And it happened in such a way where they went out and had a wonderful conversation about the same topic, seeing how two perspectives of self can never really be fully understood. And so Kosta was poking and looking to add more of those pebbles in the shoes, because he was really wanting his friend to understand one end, and his friend focused on another aspect of what she wanted Kosta to see in that conversation too. So this mutual love and perspective amplified through something that caused really a lot of movement in a rather short period of time. Each of them not in that foundation of steady, to be so beyond the emotions that the experience brings ease. In other words, when we say poking around when someone is steady, allowing others to see different directions and not really being affected by the process of that which is their own poking of others. And so the resolve of that came this morning in the appreciation for one another over the message. Armand and Kosta ended up being awake early enough for their flight that they could go and say goodbye and have another wonderful exchange. For as the steadiness between the friends like this is really consistent, so much so that even poking like this, they were joking that they've never had an argument in 10 years, realizing that this was probably the best thing that happened. Their friendship has evolved to the place where they can be open with one another and really share their passionate opposite views, so much so even when their foundation of steady is not as active. But because the foundation of that which is mutual reflection over the years being predominantly steady, occasions like this are an opportunity for individual and mutual growth. So we don't say you go, be unsteady, and then poke around. But what we want to bring to your attention is that you have an opportunity at all times when you know your tools of steadiness, when you are in a discovery consistently of furthering your tools to get to steady. At all times you have an opportunity to see that which is the foundation. It gets rather easier for you to check out from that foundation and sometimes go into something that's not desired and come back, because you've done the work so consistently that your little excess in a direction of unwanted did not throw you off for too long. There's still a little bit of that which is to be resolved for Kosta, and Armand wanted to make sure Kosta meditated before this session. He does predominantly he does that, but not every single time. And so what we're trying to say with this whole conversation is that at all times you have the choice. But when you see the order of foundation, creation, integration, you are then holding really fully the reins of all of it in your own hands, and then choosing how long you stay in each aspect of the creation process. And so we're eager to hear what's on your mind today. Go ahead.